Hello everyone, I'm Sir JC and you are watching Oralcom Simplified. For today's episode, we are about to discuss the types of nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication refers to communication that does not make use of language to communicate. Nonverbal communication involves body language, gestures, appearance, and silence. There are types of nonverbal communication, namely Kinesics, Haptics, Proxemics, Chronemics, and Paralanguage. First, let's have Kinesics. Kinesics pertains to the eye contact, body and head movements, posture, facial expressions, and gestures. Kinesics encompasses how body language conveys emotions, attitudes, and intentions. It is a non-verbal behavior related to the movement of any part of the body or the body as a whole. The word kinesics comes from the root word kinesis, which means movement, and also refers to the study of hand, arm, body, and face movements. These nonverbal cues often add depth and clarity to verbal communication, helping to convey underlying emotions and messages. Let us categorize kinesics. Kinesics in terms of eye contact. Eye behaviors are often studied under the category of kinesics. They have their own branch of nonverbal studies called oculesics, which comes from the Latin word oculus, meaning eye. Eyes are the window to the soul. Your eye contact and movement, and the way you sight or gaze people can express certain meanings. Examples are hungry eyes, evil eyes, and even the bedroom eyes. Kinesics in terms of facial expression. Facial expressions include happiness, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. This type of kinesics provides communicative signals of emotions in your face. Kinesics in terms of head movement and posture. They are often both used to acknowledge others and communicate interest or attentiveness. Examples of head movements are nodding and head shake, whereas human postures include standing, sitting, squatting, lying down, hand on hips, and leaning forward. Kinesics in terms of gestures has three categories. First, adapters. Second, emblems. And third, illustrators. First category, adapters. These are unconscious touching behaviors and movements. It can be a self-adapter or object adapter. Adapters are caused by uneasiness, anxiety, or a general sense that we are not in control of our surroundings. Scratching, twirling hair, or fidgeting with fingers or hands are considered self-adapters. While playing with the straw in your drink, peeling the label of a bottle of soda, fidgeting using your smartphones, bending your paper clips are common examples of object adapters. Second category, emblems. These are gestures that have a specific agreed on meaning. Emblems are gestures with meanings that are universally known. Emblems can be still or in motion. For example, circling the index finger around at the side of your head means crazy. Or rolling your hands over and over in front of you means moving on. Whereas the OK sign with the thumb and index finger connected in a circle with the other three fingers sticking up is an example of still emblem. The third category, illustrators. These are the common type of gesture and are used to illustrate the verbal message they accompany. For example, you might use hand gestures to indicate the size or shape of an object. Unlike emblems, illustrators do not typically have meaning on their own. This is solely involuntary and seemingly natural gestures from us as we speak. Therefore, we just do it automatically during conversation. Think about how you still make gesture when having an animated conversation on the phone even though the other person can see you. Examples of kinesics. During a job interview, a candidate maintains steady eye contact, sits up straight, and offers a firm handshake. These kinesics indicate confidence, professionalism, and a positive attitude. Another example, expressing disagreement. During a team meeting, a team member subtly rolls her eyes and crosses her arms when a colleague presents an idea they disagree with. This example highlights gesture and eye contact, which convey disagreement without using words. And last example, greeting an old friend. Two friends meet after a long time apart. They both smile widely, open their arms for a hug, and their faces light up with excitement. These body language cues express happiness and affection. The second type of nonverbal communication is haptics. Haptics involves the use of touch as a form of nonverbal communication. Haptics encompasses physical contact ranging from a firm handshake to a warm embrace. Touch can convey emotions, establish relationships, communicate comfort or discomfort, and even express power dynamics. Cultural norms, personal boundaries, and social context heavily influence the appropriateness and meaning of touch in various situations. The power or language of touch includes handshake, tapping the shoulder, hugging, holding hands, and fist bump. It is mostly occurred in interpersonal communication. Examples of haptics. Comforting a friend. A friend is upset and you offer a gentle pat on the back or a reassuring hug to provide comfort and support. The physical touch communicates empathy and solidarity. Second, greeting a loved one. When you meet a close family member or a friend after a long time, you may greet them with a warm embrace, a kiss on the cheek, or a hearty handshake. These physical gestures express affection and happiness. Professional handshake. In a business setting, you meet potential client for the first time. A firm and confident handshake can convey trustworthiness and a positive first impression. The third type of nonverbal communication is called proxemics. Proxemics focuses on the space as a nonverbal communication element. Proxemics includes concepts such as intimate space, or also known as the reserved space for close relationships. Then, personal space. This is the comfortable distance for acquaintances. And also the public space. This is the space used in formal or public setting. Proxemics examine how people use and interpret personal space, territorial boundaries, and physical distance in different social contexts. For example, when we are content with and attracted to someone, we say that we are close to him or her. While when we lose connection with someone, we may say that he or she is distant. The public zone ranges from 12 feet or more from our body, whereas the social zone's distance is from 4 to 12 feet from our body, while the personal zone is from 1.5 to 4 feet away from our body, and the intimate zone ranges from the body contact to 1.5 feet away. Examples of proxemics. Space on public transport. Passengers on a crowded subway maintain a comfortable distance from each other to respect personal space. They stand at a distance that prevents discomfort while allowing for efficient use of the available space. Next, seating preferences. In a classroom, some students prefer sitting closer to the teacher, while others choose seats towards the back. These choices are influenced by individual comfort zones and preferences for interaction. And last example is approaching a stranger. At a social event, someone initiates a conversation by standing at an appropriate distance, neither invading the other person's space nor staying too far. This distance balances the openness of communication while showing respect. The fourth type of nonverbal communication is Chronemics. Chronemics refers to the use of time as a nonverbal communication tool. Chronemics involves how people perceive, structure, and react to time in various social contexts. These include punctuality, response times, and the allocation of time for different activities. Different cultures and individuals may have varying perceptions and attitudes towards time, leading to differences in communicating styles. Therefore, the way we use time depends in some ways on our status. Promptness and the amount of time that is socially acceptable for lateness and waiting are examples of chronemics. Examples of chronemics: punctuality in meetings. In a business setting, a manager schedules a meeting with their team members. Some team members arrive precisely on time, while the others arrive a few minutes late. The difference in their timing communicates their respect for schedules and punctuality. Next, speed during presentations. A student is delivering a presentation in class. Some students speak rapidly and finish their presentations within the allotted time, while others speak slowly and exceed the time limit. The varying speech speeds reflect different approaches to time management and communication. Lastly, response time to text. Two friends are having a text conversation. One friend responds to the messages almost instantly, while the other takes longer intervals to respond. The response times convey availability, attention, and the level of priority they assign to the conversation. The last type of nonverbal communication is paralanguage. Paralanguage is the how of saying something other than what is said. This form of nonverbal communication includes factors such as tone of voice, loudness, inflection, and pitch. For example, consider the powerful effect that tone of voice can have on the meaning of a sentence. When said in a strong tone of voice, listeners might interpret a statement as approval or enthusiasm. The same word said in a hesitant tone can convey disapproval and a lack of interest. And that's it for today's video about the different types of nonverbal communication. I hope you learned a lot. See you in our next video.